All right, Ambush, and today we are joined by a duo, a pair of brothers who have been playing together for quite some time, building a name for themselves, but they recently made the decision to make a shift inside their sound, inside of their style, breaking out into the world of country music, and they have been making quite the name with some big sound. And of course, today we are joined by Brad and Ryan of Flaysher. How's it going today, gentlemen?
Very good. How are you?
Doing very well myself. And as you can tell, maybe a little flustered, maybe a little excited to dive into your guys' latest single here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, awesome. So, of course, before we get to that point, I want to know a little bit more about the group and otherwise. And like I mentioned, you guys recently decided to go through a little bit of a style change just about 2 years ago, sort of taking that break into the country world. So, before we jump into the new single, I need to know, what has it sort of been like to get into this new era of Flaysher?
So back in 2018, we were actually artists in the CMI Artist Entrepreneurship Program. And that's actually when we made the mental shift. That's when we decided country music was was going to be our home. So it was all kind of in the works since then. And in 2020, we released our debut country single, Flat Broke Famous. And it's been a wild ride. It's been awesome.
The way it kind of like sparked, I guess we should say too, is living in the biggest city in all of Canada for a couple months, being born and raised Alberta boys. That's really like, when you're in the biggest city, you start to realize just how much you miss the mountains and how much you miss, going for a drive in your truck and that kind of thing. Because there's not as many trucks at all. Like in Toronto, there's not many trucks, and there's I don't know. It's just like there's concrete all around you, and we were taking transit everywhere, so we really missed cranking up the radio, going for a drive, and as we shared stories with those that we were there with, is really when we started settling into this idea that actually our roots are starting to show, and it was
really inspiring coming back too. Because all of a sudden you're back in Calgary and seeing all like the fields all everywhere around and being able to drive out to the country. That's where we like to actually write a lot of our songs, because we're 5 minutes from gravel here. And so it was really inspiring coming back. It kind of sparked a lot of ideas for songs.
Okay, yeah, probably someone who was raised on a farm, I can imagine being in Toronto where's the closest gravel road? They've looked at you like, the what? Those exist still? What? That's fantastic. So it was maybe a little bit of that homesick vibe, that realizing where you came from, that maybe inspired this shift then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and family boys and missing family, and
awesome.
That's what music's about.
All right. So it took a little bit, 2 years sort of to get to the country shift to finally make, like you said, that first single came out with Flat Broke Famous. So of course I want to know, is someone who had been playing around, is a pair who had been playing around in bands for quite some time, built up quite an audience. What was sort of the feedback for this shift in energy?
Well, I guess throughout all of our teens, we were playing as like a cover rock band, essentially. And we did release a little bit of rock music, of course. But more than anything, what we found when we were playing corporate shows and weddings and that kind of thing, we were really making connections with people through music, period. And these people, they became fans of more of who we are than even the music itself, I think. And that's something that we're very proud of. We call our fans the Flaysher fam, basically. And that's really what it is. Like, we've got people that hired us for a wedding like 5 years ago that are still like right on our comments and that kind of thing, and really supporting us in our journey. And our goal is simply to bring all of our Flaysher fam the best music we can, and we're excited about it.
I think that was a big part of it too. I think people, kind of what Brad was saying, they wanted to follow the journey almost more than anything. They were like, I see what you guys are doing, and I think you got something there maybe. So like people wanted to kind of keep up with that, and it was an interesting shift to make back in 2020, but we did get a lot of really good feedback.
And it's been great since. Like we've had a lot of gravel under the tires since too.
Absolutely, kicking rocks, kicking up some dust, hitting those trails, and you guys have released 3 singles in the genre so far. That aforementioned first one in 2020, and then 2 in 2021, and of course now that we're in 2022. We're getting to single number 4 here with Flaysher with this latest track, A Wild One. So from what I can see, it seems like there's quite a bit of a songwriting team behind this track. So exactly how does it end up inside of the Flaysher hands? How does you guys end up bringing it to life? What was the studio experience like? Take me behind this magic.
Well, this is the first song that we've cut and released that we weren't writers on, and that's a little bit of a different kind of thing, but it's kind of exciting too. And Tebey was a writer on it, Emma Lee, as well as Karen Kosowski. Great heavy hitting songwriters, and it's just a great song. So basically, we had a list of songs that were kind of pitched to us, and we just kind of read through the list and listened to them and
listened to like demos.
Yeah. So you listen to like quick recordings, I guess. And there's a few that stuck out, I guess. But this one, we loved how universal it felt, and like describing that girl that's just, she's there, but she's like, you can't hold on to her, right? We've all been there.
The one that gets away, right? You try as much as you may, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So of course you guys mentioned this is the first song that you guys didn't actually write yourself, and I know that you've played covers before, but that's a little bit of a different idea. So were you guys a little bit maybe intimidated, maybe a little like terrified to step into a different world of playing somebody else's songs?
It's interesting. I think I was absolutely shocked as to how it very quickly feels like your own song anyway.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're picking a song because you love it and because you can relate to it and you tell your own story through it. It just really becomes someone else puts the window there and you're just seeing the world through it. You know what I mean? It's still you.
There is
in some way.
There is like a little bit of pressure, thinking of the songwriters behind it. You want to do the song justice, right? But of course that obviously comes with writing your own songs as well. So it's not really anything out of what we're used to. We're used to a little bit of that pressure, but yeah, no, it was really cool to kind of see that side of it.
Awesome. And of course, you guys also got to work with a heavy hitter in the studio as well with Dan Swinimer. So what exactly did Dan bring to this song? What maybe did you pick up from him? What did you learn?
Yeah. Dan is just a phenomenal dude. I think it's absolutely phenomenal how he's got a lot of humility. Like he's a great mentor in that way. He's got a lot of a wealth of knowledge. That guy's very, very smart and very humble, and he's a family man. And like he'll tell you stories of like some of the people he's met, and it's but yeah, he leaves room for you to shine, which is cool too. Like especially as a artist, like you believe in yourself very deeply, but as a beginning, like new in your, like at the beginning in your career, I guess you could say, where you haven't had that commercial success to the extent of some other artists. It's really nice to be in a room with somebody that lets you grow and lets you shine, even though they've had a lot of success themselves. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's art, right? And he's very willing to listen and like, hey, what ideas do you guys have? Like, you know what I mean? And he'll maybe like see if he can build off of that or whatever else. And because we're all just a team trying to work together and make the best product we can, right? So.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Putting those good vibes, that good energy, those good sounds out inside of the world.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah. And of course, talking about a little bit of wild things here as well, talking about a little bit of learning. And of course, you have been able to have the opportunity to take part in Alberta's a Project Wild, which is quite the course, quite the well, once again, a project that takes a lot of different various artists and gives them various tools, various things to learn, to take, to apply to their career. So what has it been like to be able to be a part of this project? And maybe once again, what are some of the things that you have learned from it?
Well, we were very, very humbled to be part of the top 12. We're in there with some artists that all of the artists are an inspiration, and it's been quite the process. It's not a typical kind of one of those contests that you enter as a musician. You enter so many throughout your life. It's just kind of, especially in the beginning, and but this one is just different in so many ways, and there is a lot of growth for sure. It really puts you on a fast track to growing a team of your own, surrounds you with people that are dedicated, and just really, really pushes you to step into your own lane and own it. And couldn't be more excited to be a part of it.
Yeah,
it's been absolutely phenomenal.
It is pretty amazing how, like because we've been doing this for a while, I guess, right? And we, you're thinking you're working before, and then all of a sudden something gets dropped on your plate, and you're like, okay, here we go, right? This is this is gonna be fun. So yeah, it's no slouch, that's for sure. It's a pretty heavy, there's a lot to it. There's challenges, there's reports that you have to do at the end, and obviously the competition is pretty.
Well, and the live showcase, and,
yeah,
and the challenges. There's the charity, the merchandise piece, creative collaboration, and the intro video. So yeah, a lot to get done.
It is cool though how it is a competition, but obviously there's been challenges with the pandemic as far as not being able to do certain pieces that we were planning and the committee was planning to do. But it is pretty cool though. Like through all that, we still do feel like a bit of a family. We're supporting each other, all the artists in there. It's not just it's not purely competitive. It's very supportive, and everyone obviously is gunning for the prize money, but everyone wants each other to succeed as well. So
camaraderie.
Hey, camaraderie, and probably a little bit of collaboration as well, right?
Yes, there's a lot of collaboration as well. Yeah.
Hey, creating lasting relationships inside of the music industry so that you guys can all grow together, succeed together, and just it's very beautiful how that all comes together.
Yes, Canada in general has a lot of talent, and it's nice. Alberta, as far as Project Wild is, it's obviously Alberta based, but yeah, it's really cool to see.
Awesome. And another beautiful thing that you guys have recently had the opportunity to take part in, you mentioned charity inside of that recent answer there. And one thing that you guys recently did take the opportunity to do was to host a live show entitled One More Light, where you raised some funds for some local mental health initiatives. So what was it like to put this event on, and what was sort of the importance to yourself? So what was the driving force behind making this decision?
So my best friend of 13 years took his own life in the beginning of January 2021. And the moment it happened, well, not the moment it happened, like it took me a long time to pick myself up off the floor, to be honest. It's I'm not going to shy away from the fact that losing your best friend to that is devastating. It is. And so, yeah, I guess it wasn't long after that, though, that we started talking about the idea of doing some kind of charity event, like a fundraiser for an organization that strives to prevent suicide. And yeah, I guess when Project Wild came around and one of the challenges was a charity event, it was kind of a no-brainer. Our cousin also took his life in 2015, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just something that I think we need to shed more light on, and that's what One More Light is all about. It's shedding one more light out in the world, giving one more light of hope. It's one more light at the end of the tunnel. Every January, we plan on doing it right around Blue Monday, the most depressing day of the year. We're very optimistic and bright people in general. But at the same time, we're very realistic. And yeah, there's some stuff that sometimes people need to talk about a little bit and shed some light on. So that's what One More Light was all about. Very proud of how it went and looking forward to doing it again and raising a glass.
Yeah,
for all those people.
We had overwhelming support from friends, family, and the community with that event, which was really exciting to see. We hosted that at the King Eddie in Calgary here, and yeah, raised almost $4,000. But even more than that, it was just about kind of just bringing people together to support each other, and yeah, and like Brad said, just it was all about awareness and yeah. But I am really glad we got to support the Distress Center.
Yes, and
well, so.
Our sponsor, Thumbs Up Foundation, amazing people there that helped us put on that event.
Wow. Bravo for
Colton. I appreciate that.
That's the inspiration behind that, incredibly powerful. I'm so very sorry for the losses that you have had inside of your world, but the fact that you've taken that and you've putting it forward towards trying to create that positive change inside of your community. I hope that you have the ability to continue to run these events and you yourselves continue to be illuminating lights inside of lives around you.
Thank you very much.
That means a lot. Thank you.
All right. Well, I have had a blast chatting so far here today. I have one last question for the both of you. Are you ready for it?
Love it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we have talked about this progression into country music here, sort of building through it, what it's been like, the reception, getting to this new single, Wild 01. And now what I would like to know is through this past 2 years now, how has this time helped you to grow as individuals, or what has it taught you about yourselves?
Well, there's times as brothers where you aren't going to get along. Just, in case you didn't know. But we there's been a lot of success in our relationship even lately, just between each other and how we're able to push through challenges and
more efficiently.
Yeah, we've been working better together than I think we ever have,
and that will continue to grow.
And that's exciting to me. It's just building in multiple aspects, right? Building the career and just strengthening our brother relationship and business relationship.
Yeah. I think it's been also great. Like, we played a lot of live shows when we were in our teens and through our early 20s. And I think in the last couple of years, we really had a chance to stop running around and stay put and focus on your business. And it's just come leaps and bounds, and we're here for a good time. It's going to be great.
Hey, like we said earlier, you got to have a little bit of business in the front, a little bit of party in the back, baby. Got to have a good time while still getting things done. And I have had a blast getting things done, having this conversation, diving behind your latest single, Wild Ones, which the listeners can go and find right now on their favorite music streaming service. Brad, Ryan, I want to thank you so much for joining me here on today's episode of the DTP.
You bet. Thanks so much, Colton.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.